Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for coming out and braving the smoky air. Welcome to the Tree of Life Unitarian Universalist Congregation worship service this morning. My name is Jesse Bowen, and using he, him pronouns, I'm your worship leader this morning. While I go through this morning's announcements, please take this time to silence all of your electronic devices. Thanks. As you came in today, you should have received one of these connection cards. If you don't have one, just raise your hand and the ushers will bring one to you. For those of you joining online, there will be a link to the connection card in the chat. These cards are designed to help you feel seen, heard, and connected, whether you're visiting for the first time or you're a longtime member. Everything you share on the card will be reviewed by the connection team tomorrow. There are two sides to the card. On the front, we'd love to hear how you're doing today. And then please check off whether you're a continuing member, first-time member, or first-time attendee, and so on. On the back, there's a question, what's on your mind? So that's an opportunity to share what's on your mind today. This week, we want you to think about just whatever's on your mind, and if you would like to get involved in any of our volunteer activities, there's also a QR code on the back that takes you to our giving platform. If you complete it before the offering plate goes around, you can just drop it in the offering plate, and if not, there's a painted box back by the hymnal card where you can drop it. Visitors are especially invited to join us after the service at the Connection Conversations table, and our hosts will facilitate the discussion of the connection card or any questions you might have. On Saturday, August 1st, thousands will gather in Chicago for an event called The Fierce Urgency of Now, a national march into Marquette Park. This is an historic multi-faith mobilization for voting rights, freedom from mass criminalization, economic justice, and a future rooted in dignity for all. We'll gather at 9 a.m. at 63rd Street and Kedzie, march toward Marquette Park, and continue with post-march activities from 1 to 5 p.m. You can see this week's newsletter for more information. The book club meets Friday, August 7th at 7 p.m. in the library here at the church. We'll be discussing The Book for Troublesome Women by Marie Bostwick. Join us in person or online for a conversation about this book, which takes a look at the roots of the women's movement. If you have any questions, you can contact our book club leader, Ivy Sidkowski, right over here in the back. And finally, we all love snacks. We're famous for our coffee hours each week after our services. Next month, you have 5 chances to help keep our August coffee hours going strong and delicious. Our fellowship team is asking you to bring your favorite snack to share on one or more of these upcoming Sundays. And if you would like more information, you can reach out to Beth Hoover to volunteer. Thanks for contributing. Also be sure to check this week's newsletter for more information about all of these events as well as others. We're glad this morning to welcome Jim Gould as our speaker and Jenna as our pianist, and it's very special to have both of you today. Thank you. Now let us share greetings with everyone who's online. If you wish online, you may turn on your cameras. There we are. We have a few. Hello, everyone. Wherever you are, greetings. Good morning. Thank you. Okay, now let's take a moment to ready ourselves for worship. If you'd like, you may close your eyes, relax. Breathe in deeply and slowly. In, out, in, and out, in, and out, trying to silence all of those outside voices.
We gather in worship as a beloved community. We set aside distractions and anxieties so that we might touch deeper springs and be renewed. We seek comfort from hurts that afflict. And we seek more love, more justice, and life more abundant. Come, let us gather together. We are all flames. When we gather hand in hand, we inspire, we celebrate. We come together sharing our light of hope for a shared future, knowing that in brightest day or darkest night, our faith will flame on.
Thank you, Jim. Now, please join us in recalling our mission statement. At Tree of Life, UUC, we nurture a community that welcomes diversity, supports the spiritual growth of its members, and acts to create a more just society. Thank you. The sharing of joys and concerns is a sacred moment in our service. To help us grow in community, we invite you to share a brief statement about your joy or concern. Those that are here, if you'd like, may form a line up here by my side. Please make sure to speak closely into the microphone, and then when you're finished, you're invited to select a pebble from the bowl and put it in the larger bowl. And then I will select pebbles for everyone online, as well as one for those unexpressed joys and concerns that remain in our hearts. Online participants, please raise your hand in chat, and when I call on you, make sure to unmute yourself.
Well, hello, good morning, and I'm Ron Relic, as most of you probably know. Last Saturday, a week ago yesterday, my son got married. I officiated. It was fantastic. We had a beautiful, beautiful day. Everything went swimmingly well. And it was a beautiful ceremony. Some of you were on Facebook with Donna, my wife, and you've seen pictures and things. The whole thing was live streamed. There was one of the bridesmaids' boyfriend live streamed the whole thing. So we had direct audio feed and everything, fantastic quality. There were 55 people there, and there were 100 people across U.S. and in Brazil, which Ross's wife is from Brazil. So we had the family with us. We had the whole thing. It was fantastic. It was beautiful. And I'll give you just a little example of the one. I had about 2 sentences I spoke in Portuguese, like to the crowd and into the line. Boa tarde, senhoras e senhores, e bem-vindos ao casamento da Amanda e do Ross. Good afternoon, welcome, to the wedding of Amanda and Ross. So Portuguese is difficult. It's got these nasal vowels that are unnatural to us, and Ross is doing well with it. But anyway, we had a great time. 55 people there. The kids danced. The young people in their 20s danced till 11 o'clock at night, till they turned off the music, and they had a wild time. It was fantastic. We had the family with us for 2 weeks, and now they're in Arlington, Virginia with Ross and Amanda for 2 more weeks, mother, brother, and sister. And they were in the wedding too, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful occasion. So one of the greatest joys of my life. I'm going to put it next door. It was held on Long Lake. It was Parkway Banquets on Long Lake. So it was a beautiful banquet center where you could have the wedding outside, just come right in, and there it was. Yeah.
Thank you, Ron.
Hi, my name's Adana Salcedo, she, her. I've got a couple concerns, but first a joy. Last Saturday we had Dez's 13th birthday party, So I officially have 2 teenagers in my house. It was a good time. We had a few people from here there as well. Concerns. I made the tough decision this last week to have a very difficult conversation with my biological father about trying to repair our relationship. And after speaking with him and finding out that he will refuse to acknowledge one of my children and the pronouns that they prefer, I think I'm just going to be done with the whole thing. Another concern, Zayden is starting driver's ed. They failed their eye exam, so we've been keeping an eye on one of their eyes since they had an infection when they were 4, and they are considered legally blind in the right eye. So they will be able to drive, thankfully, because state of Illinois only requires 1 good eye. But so that's just been a heavy week.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Marie Freeberg. Last Saturday, I got to attend the birthday party of Des, which was awesome and fun. And also, very thankfully, I celebrated 6 years of sobriety that day, so I was joyful to be around some family, loved ones. Thank you. So it was a blessing, and I appreciate being there with you guys and my new family. So thank you.
Good morning. Freddie, my pronouns are he, him. And I just wanted to share that my partner, Tiana, is having a stressful start to her work week. She left early this morning to go to the airport for a business trip, and her flight got canceled. So she already knew it was going to be a stressful trip, and now she is having to navigate getting new flights. And so I just hope the rest of the trip can go smooth for her.
You can just lay it down. Thank you. Anyone else this morning? Do we have anyone online this morning? No one online. Okay, thank you. I'll put one more stone in for all those unexpressed joys and concerns that remain in our heart. The compassion and trust of our beloved community flows from each of us. Each of our joys and concerns, spoken and unspoken, are embraced in this mutual love and respect of our blessed community. And now please rise in body or spirit, and we're going to sing hymn number 301, Touch the Earth, Reach the Sky. And we'll be singing verses 1, 2, and 4.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jim Gould, and I've been here before thanks to your member, Alan Shear. So thank you to Alan if you are online. I'm going to be reading and reflecting this morning from a passage written by Robert Fulghum almost 40 years ago in his book, Everything I Needed to Learn, I Learned in Kindergarten. I once attended a seminar on the island of Crete. On the final day of the workshop, the leader, Alexander Papaderos, rose from his chair. "Are there any questions?" And so I asked, "What is the meaning of life?" Taking out, talk about an easy question. Taking out his wallet, Papaderos produced a very small mirror, about the size of a quarter. And what he said went like this. "I was a small child during the Second World War. One day on the road, I found the broken piece of a mirror from a wrecked German motorcycle. I became fascinated that with it I could reflect light into dark places where the sun never shines, deep holes and crevices and dark closets. It became a game to get light into the most inaccessible places I could find. As I became a man, I grew to understand that this was a metaphor for what I might do with my life. I came to understand that I am not the light or the source of light, but light, truth, peace, joy, understanding, kindness, is there, and it will only shine in many dark places if I reflect it. I am a fragment of a mirror whose whole shape I do not know. Nevertheless, with what I have, I can reflect light into the dark places of this world, into the dark places in people's hearts, into the dark places in our social life, and change some things. This is what I am about. This is the meaning of my life." There is wisdom for us in this story. Natalie and Michael work for a social service agency that helps people in crisis. The call comes at 3 a.m. to meet Sandra by the railroad tracks. And so Natalie and Michael go, tag teaming each other. She's got the book learning and formal credentials. He's got the life experience. They find Sandra standing alone in the dark. "I'm finally going to do it," she says, her voice flat. "The train comes at 5:30, and I'm jumping in front of it." You know the end of the story. She didn't, because Natalie and Michael were there as mirrors shining kindness into Sandra's darkness. Megan volunteers at Lake in the Hills Food Pantry. She's often there on Wednesday nights when my disabled son David and I stock shelves. Throughout our shift, Megan jokes with David. "How many squirrels were in the rotten food dumpster out back?" she asks. "I bet you rode bikes last weekend." Megan helps David separate chicken noodle soup from tomato. She's always happy to hear another story about the Chicago Air Show, or that Uncle Tom and Aunt Beth are coming to visit. Megan doesn't simply tolerate David, she celebrates him. In her warm presence, David is just another crew member, a fellow human being, an equal. Megan is a mirror shining friendship into David's loneliness. So with Natalie, Michael, and Megan in mind, I want to unpack several things that Robert Fulghum says. So listen again to his words. "I am a fragment of a mirror whose whole shape I do not know. Nevertheless, with what I have, I can reflect light into the dark places of this world and change some things." There's several truths in this brief statement. First, the world contains darkness. Does it ever? I'm often overwhelmed at the enormity of the world's needs. Poverty, crime, homelessness, broken relationships, health challenges, rising prices, political turmoil, immigrant deportations, reckless war, Medicaid cuts, voter suppression, on and on. I feel afraid, angry, sad, powerless. You bet, there are many dark places in the world. But second, there is light in the world too. Love, joy, peace, harmony, truth. Each faith tradition has its ideals. For Jews, it's shalom. For Christians, flourishing in God's world. For Muslims, justice and compassion. For Hindus, ahimsa, nonviolence. For Buddhists, the interconnectedness of all beings. And let's not forget the Unitarian Universalist values: interdependence, pluralism, justice, transformation, generosity, equity. So yes, there's darkness and evil in the world, but there's also light and goodness. Third, you and I can reflect light into the world's dark places. We can shine light into the lives of people we know personally who are struggling. We can shine light into social settings where injustice runs rampant. Francis of Assisi understood this. So please join me in reciting these words together. May I be an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, I will show love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. Francis' prayer is more than a moving poem. It's a practical guide for how to live a life of love, peace, and moral integrity. It calls us to reflect light into the dark places around us. Fourth, you and I are fragments of a larger mirror. A fragment is a part of something bigger. None of us is the whole shebang. That truth contradicts pop culture, where the Hollywood image of a hero is John Wayne or Clint Eastwood, Jason Momoa or The Rock. The solitary, independent hero with great physical strength, the superhero who goes it alone. But the truth is otherwise. Fulgham says we're only fragments. So does my favorite author, J.R.R. Tolkien. In the film The Hobbit, the diminutive Bilbo Baggins reluctantly accompanies a band of dwarves on the quest to reclaim their kingdom from the dragon Smaug. During a respite in Rivendell, the wizard Gandalf speaks with the elf princess Galadriel. Referring to Bilbo, she asks, "Why the halfling?" Hobbits, you'll remember, are small and weak creatures. They only stand about 3 foot tall. Gandalf replies, "Some people believe that it's only great power that can hold evil in check. But that isn't what I've found. I've found that it's the small things, everyday deeds of ordinary folk, that keeps the darkness at bay." And to that I say, amen. Tolkien is right. In my community, it's a few rapid responders who document immigration raids and support the abducted person's family. It's committed volunteers who faithfully stock the food pantry. It's dedicated advocates who passed a voter referendum that funds mental health services for people without insurance. We're fragments. There's nothing grandiose or extraordinary here. For most of us, it's simple acts of kindness and justice. That's true. But if you're like me, it's also frustrating, knowing that I can't set the world to rights. I'm not rich or famous or powerful. So why try it all? I used to tell my students that's futility thinking. If I can't do everything, I won't do anything. And it's a bad mistake. In the TV series MASH, an Army helicopter pilot, Willie Stratton, is selling souvenirs, war materials that Korean kids are risking their lives to collect for him. And so the two surgeons, Hawkeye and BJ, tell Stratton that unless he stops, they'll declare him sick and he'll lose his wings. And Stratton kind of mocks their threat, right? He's like, who do you guys think you are? Jesus changing the world? And BJ says, no, just our little corner of it. Just our little corner of it. So yes, we're small fragments. But don't forget that there's strength in numbers. Don't try to go it alone. Instead, join with others. Rely on their help. We build success shoulder to shoulder. It takes all of us. Each candle lights the next, and suddenly the whole room glows. And finally, we reflect light with what we have. Each of us is different. I have my strengths, and you have yours. Doing good is different for everyone. So don't try to be someone else. It's not a comparison game. As Paul of Tarsus points out, our human bodies have different parts. The eye can't do what the hand does. The foot can't do what the ear does. My friend Walt was handy with tools, but he wasn't a thinker. I asked him one day to join the church board that I chaired, and he told me flat out, no way. My contribution, he explained, is helping elderly women maintain their homes. And so he showed up throughout his neighborhood, turning a wrench to tighten a leaky tap, twisting a screwdriver to repair an electrical outlet, and always swapping stories over cookies and a cup of tea, making a difference with his unique skills. So bloom where you're planted. Radiate goodness in your particular way, using your specific gifts. Because if you do your part and I do mine, then the work of caring for each other and of fixing what is broken in our world will get done. Jimena is a paralegal at an immigration serving organization. Miguel sat across her desk. They chatted briefly. Then she got down to business. You're undocumented. Yes. And you're here to fill out a power of attorney for your landscape business. Yes. And a temporary guardianship for your children. Miguel nodded. The words wouldn't come, but the tears did. He sobbed, shaking uncontrollably. He composed himself, looked Jimena in the eyes. I'm preparing my family to live without me, he said. Jimena took his hands, tears on her face too. Together they completed the documents Miguel needs to protect his loved ones in case he's detained and deported. Jimena is a mirror reflecting light into Miguel's dark pain. Like Natalie and Michael, Walt and Megan and Jimena, each of us carries a spark of light. Some of us shine quietly, others blaze brightly, but we all have power to warm the world. As Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see. It's our acts of goodness that make a difference, a small one perhaps, in ways we'll never know. I leave you with two questions to ponder as Jenna plays. First, what is the particular light that you reflect? And second, how will you reflect it into the world's dark places this week?
Jim, thank you so much for your words about how we can make a difference. And Jenna, thank you so much for your beautiful music. Each week as we worship, we welcome the offerings that support our work of community. Many of us have already given our monetary gifts electronically online. Still, we set aside this time for the spiritual practice of gratitude. Online participants may give their offerings in one of 3 ways that are listed on your screen. If you're new to Tree of Life, please let this opportunity pass you by. Your presence here is your gift to us. We thank you for these gifts and all the gifts you share. Please now rise in body or spirit as you're able, and we will sing hymn number 118, This Little Light of Mine. There will be alternate lyrics on the screen, and the lyrics are just the first part of the line. I think you'll get the rest of it as well. Thank you. Please be seated. We'll now extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame of communal worship and now carry its light within us.